there is chaos is everywhere. A rude comment, a sudden failure, a moment of pressure that pushes you to the edge. Most people react, anger flares, stress builds, emotions spiral out of control. And just like that, they lose their power. But the Stoics, they stay unshaken. Not because life is easier for them, but because they've mastered something few ever do. The hidden power of indifference. This isn't apathy. It's not about being numb. It's about control. The ability to stand in the middle of life's storms and remain calm. To face insults, failures, and uncertainty with an unbreakable mind. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire with composure. Seneca endured exile with grace. Epictetus, once a slave, rose above his fate with unwavering strength. They understood that external chaos means nothing if your inner world is untouchable. In this video, we'll uncover how the Stoics used indifference as their greatest weapon, and how you can do the same to stay calm, strong, and unstoppable. Because when nothing shakes you, nothing controls you. 1. Understanding Stoic indifference. So, what does Stoic indifference really mean? In everyday language, we often think of indifference as a lack of interest, care, or concern. It sounds like someone who is cold, detached, or unfeeling. But in Stoicism, indifference is quite different. It's not about ignoring life's challenges or shutting yourself off from the world. Instead, it's about maintaining emotional control in the face of those challenges. Stoics believe that we can't control what happens to us, but we can control how we react to those things. This is where the idea of indifference comes into play. When something difficult happens, whether it's an insult, a setback, or a stressful situation, the Stoic responds with calmness. They don't let the situation throw them off balance. Instead, they detach from the emotional impact of the event and stay focused on what they can control: their thoughts, reactions, and behavior. One key idea here is the dichotomy of control, a central concept in Stoicism. The dichotomy of control teaches that there are two things we need to focus on: what we can control and what we can't control. We have no control over external events, like what other people say, how the weather is, or the outcome of certain situations. However, we do have control over our own actions, reactions, and thoughts. By practicing indifference, Stoics remind themselves to let go of the things they can't control, focusing only on how they can act or think in response to them. At the heart of this practice is virtue, acting with wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. Stoics believe that the highest good is to live in accordance with these virtues, rather than being swept away by emotions like anger, fear, or frustration. When you focus on virtue, on acting in line with wisdom and inner peace, you're less likely to be affected by the ups and downs of external circumstances. Instead, you respond thoughtfully and calmly, maintaining your integrity and composure, no matter what life throws at you. 2. The impact of external events on our emotions. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where something outside of your control, maybe a harsh comment from a colleague, a difficult family situation, or a piece of bad luck, triggers a strong emotional reaction? Maybe you felt angry, frustrated, or even scared. It's natural for external events to affect our emotions. For example, when someone criticizes us, we might feel upset or defensive. Or if things aren't going as planned in our lives, we might feel stressed or anxious. These emotional reactions are often automatic, and we don't always stop to think before we react. But while it's natural to feel emotions in response to external events, these emotional reactions can be harmful if we don't manage them properly. When we react with intense emotions, like anger or frustration, it can cause stress. This stress can cloud our judgment, making it harder for us to think clearly or make wise decisions. We might say things we regret, make poor choices, or even damage our relationships, all because we let our emotions take control. Over time, these emotional reactions can lead to emotional instability, leaving us constantly reacting to the world around us instead of responding thoughtfully. From a Stoic perspective, external events are outside our control. We can't control what other people say or do, and we certainly can't control the unpredictable nature of life. However, it is our emotional reactions to these events that cause our suffering. The Stoics taught that it's not the event itself that harms us, but our perception and response to it. When we allow ourselves to react impulsively or emotionally, we give up our peace. Instead, the Stoics suggest that we focus on what we can control our thoughts, emotions, and responses, and choose to remain calm no matter what happens around us. 3. Why Stoics embrace indifference? So, why do Stoics embrace indifference? The key is understanding that there are things we cannot control, like other people's behavior, unexpected events, or external circumstances. These things may seem powerful in the moment, but the Stoics believe that we don't need to give them power over our emotional well-being. Instead, Stoics choose to be indifferent to things outside their control. This doesn't mean being cold or uncaring. It simply means they don't let external events dictate their peace of mind. By practicing indifference to things outside their control, Stoics focus on what truly matters: their actions, thoughts, and responses. This focus helps them maintain inner peace, no matter what's happening around them. When you let go of the need to control things that are out of your hands, you free yourself from emotional turmoil. You stop wasting energy on things that don't affect your core values, and instead, you focus on living a life that aligns with your virtues and your purpose. The freedom of indifference is about taking back control of your emotional state. It's about not letting external events or people's opinions make you feel anxious, upset, or distracted. When you become indifferent to things that don't serve your inner peace, you open up space to live a more virtuous and purpose-driven life. You stop reacting emotionally to everything around you and start responding with wisdom, compassion, and clarity. In this way, indifference becomes a strength. It helps you stay unshaken, no matter what life throws your way. 4. The Stoic tools for developing indifference. Stoicism offers several tools to help develop indifference and build emotional resilience. These tools are practical ways to detach from external events and emotions, and they can help you stay calm and composed in the face of challenges. Let's explore a few of these tools. Tool number 1. Daily reflection and journaling. One of the most powerful Stoic practices is daily reflection. Stoics believe in taking time each day to reflect on their actions, emotions, and experiences. This practice helps you become more aware of how you respond to external events. By journaling, you can examine your emotional reactions and identify patterns. You'll see what triggers your emotions, which will help you detach from unnecessary attachments to outcomes. For example, if something doesn't go the way you hoped, perhaps a project at work didn't succeed, you can use journaling to reflect on your reaction. Did you get upset or frustrated? Or did you accept the outcome and think about how you could improve next time? This daily practice of self-reflection allows you to recognize when your emotions are getting in the way of your peace and helps you stay grounded in your core values. Tool number 2. Mindfulness and meditation. Mindfulness is the practice of staying present and fully engaged in the current moment. Stoics use mindfulness to avoid getting caught up in the emotions triggered by past events or future anxieties. For example, if you're facing a challenging situation, mindfulness helps you stay focused on what's happening now, instead of worrying about what could go wrong. It keeps your mind clear and prevents you from getting swept up in unnecessary emotional reactions. Meditation is a key component of mindfulness. By practicing meditation, Stoics create a space where they can calm their minds, detach from distractions, and reconnect with their sense of inner peace. Regular meditation helps reduce emotional reactivity and increases emotional control, allowing you to stay centered no matter what life brings. Tool number 3. Premeditatio malorum, meaning the premeditation of evils. This is a Stoic practice where you anticipate challenges or setbacks in advance. By imagining potential obstacles, you prepare yourself emotionally for what might come. This practice helps you build resilience because, when the challenges actually happen, you've already mentally prepared for them. You won't be blindsided or emotionally disturbed by difficulties because you've already thought through how to handle them calmly and rationally. For instance, if you know a difficult conversation or a tough decision is coming up, you can use this practice to mentally prepare. Visualize how you might feel and think about how you can respond thoughtfully, without letting your emotions control you. When the situation arises, you'll be more capable of staying unshaken and focused on your goals. 4th tool, negative visualization. This is another Stoic technique that builds emotional resilience. It involves the practice of imagining losing something important, like your job, a relationship, or even your health. By visualizing these losses, you reduce the emotional impact of unexpected challenges. It sounds counterintuitive, but it's a powerful way to build detachment from external outcomes. The idea is not to dwell on the negative, but to understand that everything we have is temporary. By accepting the possibility of loss, we can approach life with more gratitude and less fear. This practice helps you to appreciate what you have and be prepared, emotionally, for any changes that might come your way. 5. The strength in being unshaken. Stoicism teaches that indifference is not about being indifferent to life, but about building resilience. When you practice indifference, you are able to stay calm and grounded, no matter what happens around you. This resilience makes you less susceptible to being shaken by life's ups and downs. The more you practice stoic indifference, the stronger you become in the face of adversity. When you are indifferent to things you can't control, you protect your emotional well-being. For example, if someone criticizes you at work, you don't feel the need to react defensively. Instead, you stay calm and assess whether there's any truth to their feedback that you can learn from, or if their opinion is just a reflection of their own issues. This emotional resilience allows you to weather storms, whether in your personal life, your career, or in public situations, without losing your peace. You become less impacted by external events and more focused on maintaining your inner balance. Stoics maintain composure in difficult situations. They don't react impulsively or allow their emotions to control their decisions. When things get tough, Stoics act with wisdom and reason. Instead of giving in to anger, frustration, or fear, they stay composed and focused on what they can control. This steady composure is not only a sign of strength, but also a key to making wise decisions. For example, if you are facing a difficult challenge at work, instead of reacting emotionally, you might pause, reflect, and calmly decide on the best course of action. You don't let the stress or frustration overwhelm you. You stay composed and take thoughtful steps forward. Real-life examples of stoic indifference can be seen in many situations. For instance, Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, faced numerous challenges during his reign, including wars and personal loss. Yet, he remained calm, focused on his duty, and wrote in his journals about maintaining inner peace in the face of hardship. His ability to stay unshaken, despite external pressure, is a perfect example of stoic indifference in action. In your own life, think about times when you faced personal or professional challenges. Instead of reacting emotionally, you can choose to stay grounded in your values and approach the situation with clear thinking and composure. Over time, practicing this stoic indifference will help you handle difficult situations with greater ease and confidence. 6. Indifference versus apathy. The key differences. When we hear the word indifference, it's easy to think of someone who just doesn't care about anything. But in Stoicism, indifference is much more than that. It's not about being apathetic. In fact, stoic indifference is the exact opposite of apathy. What is apathy? Apathy refers to a lack of interest or care about something. An apathetic person might not be concerned about the world around them or the people in their lives. They might feel disconnected, indifferent in a negative sense, and emotionally disengaged. Apathy is a passive state, someone who doesn't feel invested in anything, including their own well-being or growth. In contrast, stoic indifference is active. It's not about shutting down or ignoring life's challenges. It's about engaging with life fully while choosing not to be controlled by emotions or external events. Stoic indifference involves maintaining emotional control and focusing on what we can control, which is our own responses and actions. It allows you to respond to life's challenges with calmness and reason, without getting swept up in emotional reactions. The role of empathy and compassion is also important here. Stoics are not indifferent to human suffering. They practice empathy and compassion, recognizing that everyone faces struggles. However, Stoics choose to approach suffering with understanding, not emotional overwhelm. They don't allow others' pain or challenges to disturb their peace of mind or cloud their judgment. They can offer support and compassion without becoming emotionally entangled in the suffering of others. This is the key difference. Stoic indifference is about emotional detachment, not disengagement or lack of care. 7. Stoic indifference in modern life. In today's fast-paced world, it's easy to get swept up by emotions, societal pressures, or toxic people. But stoic indifference offers a powerful way to navigate life while maintaining inner peace. Let's explore how you can apply stoic indifference in your own life. Applying stoic indifference in everyday life means not allowing external events to disrupt your emotional state. Whether you're dealing with a toxic coworker, a stressful work environment, or personal conflicts, Stoic indifference teaches you to focus on what's within your control, your actions and your reactions. If you're working with a colleague who constantly undermines you, instead of getting caught up in frustration or retaliation, you can choose to remain calm and composed. You can still address the situation assertively and respectfully, but you won't let their behavior disturb your emotional peace. The key is to detach from the emotional reactions triggered by others and focus on maintaining your own integrity. Stoicism also teaches you to practice indifference to social pressures and expectations. In today's world, there are constant pressures to fit in, meet certain standards, or follow trends. But Stoics remain true to their values and principles, regardless of what society or others expect. They understand that living according to their own virtues is more important than seeking approval or validation from the outside world. Handling criticism and judgment is another area where Stoic indifference can be incredibly helpful. It's easy to feel hurt or defensive when others criticize you or judge your actions. But Stoicism teaches that the opinions of others don't define your worth. Instead of reacting emotionally to criticism, you can calmly assess whether there's truth in what's being said and use it as an opportunity for growth. If the criticism is unjust, you can let it go without letting it affect your self-worth. By practicing indifference to judgment, you preserve your inner peace and self-esteem. Stoic indifference in modern life doesn't mean being detached from others or from life. It means choosing how to engage with the world around you in a way that doesn't disturb your inner peace. It's about making conscious decisions to focus on what you can control and letting go of the rest. Whether it's handling criticism, navigating toxic people, or avoiding the pressures of social expectations, Stoic indifference helps you stay true to yourself and move through life with resilience and composure. 8. The challenge of indifference. Is it always possible? We've discussed the power of Stoic indifference, but it's important to acknowledge that cultivating indifference is not always easy. In the real world, external events or people can challenge our emotional stability, and sometimes it feels nearly impossible to remain calm and unaffected. Life throws curveballs, whether it's a difficult relationship, a personal loss, or a stressful situation, and those things can stir up strong emotions. While Stoics strive for emotional control, they don't expect perfection in their practice. Setbacks are inevitable, and Stoics understand that these setbacks are part of the journey. When they feel shaken, instead of getting discouraged, they view it as an opportunity to learn and grow. They ask themselves, what can I learn from this reaction? How can I improve next time? This mindset turns every emotional challenge into a chance for growth, rather than a failure. The key to Stoic indifference is gradual improvement. Just like building any skill, emotional resilience takes practice. The more you practice indifference, the better you become at handling life's challenges with calmness and wisdom. Over time, you learn how to detach from emotional triggers and respond in a more measured way. So, while it's okay to struggle with indifference at times, each effort to remain unshaken brings you closer to mastering it. 9. The power of indifference in relationships. When it comes to relationships, Stoic indifference can actually improve the way we connect with others. You might think that indifference would make you distant or cold, but in reality, it can help prevent unnecessary drama, arguments, and emotional volatility. Think about it. When someone says something hurtful or a conflict arises, instead of reacting impulsively or emotionally, you remain calm. By staying composed, you avoid escalating the situation and can respond thoughtfully. In conflict situations, indifference allows you to engage without getting overwhelmed by emotions. It prevents you from taking things personally or letting someone else's behavior affect your peace. Instead of becoming defensive or angry, you can listen, understand, and respond from a place of reason and empathy. This approach not only helps to resolve conflicts more calmly, but it also reduces the emotional stress that often comes with disagreements. Protecting your peace in relationships doesn't mean withdrawing or shutting people out. It means that you maintain your emotional stability regardless of others' actions. Stoic indifference helps you protect your peace without becoming cold-hearted or distant. It allows you to remain connected with others without getting swept away by their emotions or negative behavior. In both personal and professional relationships, you can use Stoic indifference to stay composed in disagreements, avoid unnecessary emotional drama, and deal with emotionally draining people. By practicing indifference, you make better decisions, communicate more clearly, and maintain a sense of inner peace even in the midst of conflict. To summarize, Stoic indifference is a powerful tool that allows us to stay unshaken and maintain inner peace despite external challenges. It's about focusing on what we can control, our thoughts, actions, and reactions, while letting go of what we can't. Through daily practice, we can become more resilient, respond to life's challenges with calmness, and improve our relationships by avoiding emotional volatility. Remember, practicing indifference isn't about becoming detached or emotionally numb. It's about maintaining emotional control and strengthening your resilience so you can live a life aligned with your values without being swept away by external circumstances. I encourage you to start applying Stoic indifference in your own life, whether by using Stoic tools like mindfulness, journaling, or reflection, or simply by focusing on what you can control. Take some time to reflect on how you can respond more calmly to challenges, and share your thoughts and experiences with us in the comments below. Stay strong, stay wise, and as always, stay stoic. Remember to hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss new videos. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.